All right, so we're going to talk about earnest money, good faith money, hand money, earnest deposit, whatever you want to call it. It is an upfront payment that you as the buyer put on the table, and it is to be agreed upon by you and the sellers to how much that amount is going to be. There are some market expectations and some strategies around how much to put down, so we'll chat about the amount. But essentially, once the amount is agreed upon by the buyer and seller, and we have a fully executed sales agreement, then we are to deposit that money into the agency escrow account in your name, and is applied to you at closing. So whatever you would have been paying at the closing table is now going to be reduced by that earnest deposit amount. So let's say you had an earnest deposit check for $5,000 and you owe $50,000 at the closing table. Now you're actually only going to have to bring $45,000 because you've already paid $5,000 down. Now, as far as what happens to the money, what if we don't close? Here's how that works. You will recoup that money back in full refund as long as we terminate with cause. What does that mean? That means as long as we terminate for anything we have a contingency for, such as inspections or financing. So if there's anything that we do that violates the sales agreement, breaches our contract, like we flake out, we just walk away without any good reason, no protections from the sales agreement to cover us, in that scenario, the seller can recoup the earnest money as their collateral for your breach of contract. So as long as we don't allow that to happen, which of course we don't, then you are going to be fully refunded your earnest money if we terminate with cause. So it is very rare for a buyer to actually ever lose their earnest money because the situations have to be so extreme that you would do so to violate the sales agreement. It is highly likely that as long as we are monitoring the situation with you and you're doing things in good faith, that you will be able to get that earnest deposit back as long as there's a legitimate issue with the home or the transaction. And we'll discuss those circumstances obviously as they arise. But at the same time, you should take comfort in the fact that you are prepaying yourself and that money will be back to you at the closing table. It really just holds the contract in place to make sure no other buyer can come in and knock you out of position. And sometimes a little bit more, a little bit less can have an impact on a seller's willingness to accept your offer. So we can talk about that stuff too. But if you have any questions about earnest money or how it works, just call me, text me, whatever you want. I'm always available to. Talk to you soon. See ya.